There is a currency you have been spending recklessly your entire life. You hand it out to people who don't respect you. You donate it to situations that drain you. You invest it into a world that is engineered to consume you. That currency is your attention. And because you give it away so easily, it starts to lose its value. The more you react, the more you allow others to hijack your focus, the less control you have over your own life. Think about that for a second. So much of what we call stress is actually borrowed. Borrowed from other people's moods. Borrowed from their comments. Borrowed from their chaos. And every time you pay attention to what doesn't deserve you, you pay with your peace. Now imagine how different your days could feel if you reclaimed that power. What would it look like if you stopped feeding every distraction? What if you only gave your attention to what truly matters? To the people who add value, to the goals that move you forward, to habits that build you instead of break you. Stoicism teaches something simple but life-changing. You may not control everything that happens around you, but you always control what you give your mind to. And when you control your attention, you regain control over your peace, your energy, and your direction in life. Because attention shapes experience. What you focus on becomes your reality. What you repeat becomes your character. And what you allow to occupy your mind eventually decides how you live. Now imagine you're in a heated argument. Someone says something sharp, something triggering, and instantly you feel that pull. The urge to respond, to defend yourself, to explain, to prove you're right, to make sure they know they crossed a line. But pause. Why do their words have so much power over you? Most of the time it isn't the sentence itself. It's the meaning you attach to it. It's the emotion you connect to it. It's the story your mind creates in the background. We react because we believe that if we don't, we lose something: our dignity, our respect, our control. But here's the truth most people don't want to admit. The moment you react impulsively, you've already surrendered power. Because now the situation is steering your emotions. Now their words are deciding your mood. Now the outside world is commanding the inside world. Stoicism teaches a different way to live. You cannot control what people say or do. You cannot control how unfair they are, how rude they are, how impulsive they are. But you can always control your response. And that is where real strength lives. Because in that tiny space, between what happens and how you respond, there is freedom. Most people live like slaves to that trigger. They get pulled, they react, they regret it, and then they repeat. But the Stoic trains for something else: to stay calm when provoked, to stay grounded when insulted, to stay steady when the world tries to shake them. And in that steadiness, you become untouchable. In moments of tension, when everything inside you wants to explode, there is a hidden power in doing the opposite. Instead of reacting, you pause. Instead of escalating, you remain calm. Instead of fighting noise with more noise, you choose silence. Most people never realize how often they give their emotional power away. Think about how many arguments begin over something insignificant: a careless comment, a misunderstood sentence, a criticism that wasn't even important. And yet, within seconds, the situation turns into conflict. Voices rise, egos clash, and suddenly the moment becomes bigger than it ever needed to be. But ask yourself something honestly. Did reacting improve the situation? Did it bring clarity? Did it bring peace? Or did it simply add more fuel to the fire? The reality is that reacting emotionally often turns a small spark into a wildfire. When we react, we become part of the chaos. We feed it, we energize it, we allow it to grow. But when we choose not to react, something interesting happens. The cycle breaks, the tension loses momentum, and suddenly the storm has nothing to push against. This is the quiet strength of non-reaction. It is not weakness, it is discipline. It is the ability to remain stable while everything around you tries to pull you off balance. And the peace you gain from staying calm is far more valuable than the temporary satisfaction of proving someone wrong. Because winning an argument rarely changes anything, but protecting your peace changes everything. Now consider how many times someone else's behavior has ruined your day. A rude message, a passive-aggressive comment, an unfair accusation. Suddenly, your mind is replaying it over and over again. You think about what you should have said, what you could have said, what you will say next time. Hours pass, and without realizing it, that single moment has stolen your entire day. This is how easily attention can be hijacked. Stoicism does not say you should ignore everything in life. It doesn't tell you to become passive or allow people to walk all over you. Instead, it teaches something much more powerful. Choose your battles carefully. Not every insult deserves your response. Not every challenge deserves your time. Not every confrontation deserves your energy. But in fact, many conflicts lose their power the moment you stop engaging with them. The Stoics understood that attention is limited, your energy is limited, your time is limited, and when you waste those things on every small irritation, you slowly exhaust yourself. Real wisdom is knowing the difference between what matters and what doesn't, when to speak, and when silence is the stronger response. Because sometimes the strongest person in the room is not the one who reacts the fastest. It is the one who remains calm while everyone else loses control. And when you learn this skill, when you stop reacting to every small disturbance, you begin to notice something surprising. Life becomes quieter, clearer, and far more peaceful. Think about the people you respect the most, the individuals whose presence immediately commands attention in a room. They are rarely the loudest people there. They don't constantly interrupt conversations. They don't react to every comment thrown their way. And they certainly don't feel the need to prove themselves in every situation. Instead, they carry something much more powerful, a quiet confidence. They speak when it matters. They listen more than they react. And they remain composed even when the atmosphere around them becomes tense. This kind of presence isn't accidental. It comes from emotional detachment. Now, detachment does not mean becoming cold or indifferent to the world. It does not mean you stop caring about people or situations. It simply means you stop allowing every external event to control your internal state. You observe more. You react less. You begin to see situations clearly instead of being overwhelmed by them. This is one of the most important ideas in Stoic philosophy. The Stoics believe that true strength comes from mastering yourself, not mastering others. Winning arguments does not make you strong. Proving someone wrong does not make you powerful. But maintaining your inner calm when others lose control, that is real strength. When you practice emotional detachment, you stop taking everything personally. You begin to see that many people act from their own fears, insecurities, and frustrations. Their reactions often say far more about them than they do about you. And once you understand that, something inside you changes. You stop feeling the need to defend yourself. against every opinion. You stop trying to correct every misunderstanding. Instead, you remain steady, grounded, unshaken. And over time, people begin to notice this, because calm confidence naturally commands respect. Ignoring is often misunderstood. Many people think ignoring something means weakness. They assume that if you don't react, you must be afraid, or passive, or incapable of defending yourself. But in reality, ignoring can be one of the most powerful strategies a person can learn. Because ignoring is not about avoidance, it is about control. When you choose to ignore certain things, you are deciding that they are not worthy of your attention. You are protecting your focus, your energy, your mental clarity. Most people react automatically to everything. A comment online, a criticism at work, a stranger's opinion, a small inconvenience. Their emotions move up and down all day long because their attention is constantly being pulled in different directions. But someone who practices the art of ignoring becomes different. They are not easily provoked. They are not easily manipulated. They are not easily disturbed because they understand something most people forget. Attention is power. Whatever you focus on grows stronger in your life. When you focus on negativity, it expands. When you focus on drama, it multiplies. But when you remove your attention from those things, they begin to lose their influence over you. This is why ignoring is such a powerful tool. It allows you to walk through life without being controlled by every small disturbance. You become selective, intentional, disciplined, and slowly, the world around you loses its ability to pull you in every direction. You remain focused on what truly matters, your goals, your growth, your peace of mind. There's something important you must understand about people who create drama. They survive on reactions. Their power does not come from their words. It comes from your response to those words. The moment you react emotionally, you give them exactly what they want: your attention, your frustration, your energy. And once they see that they can trigger you, they will continue doing it again and again and again. Not necessarily because they hate you, but because human nature seeks attention. Some people seek it through admiration. Others seek it through conflict. But either way, they are still feeding on your reaction. This is why learning to stop reacting is so powerful. When you refuse to engage, something interesting happens. The cycle begins to break. Their insults lose weight. Their provocations lose effectiveness. And slowly, they begin to lose interest. Because without your reaction, there is nothing left for them to feed on. Think of it like a game of tug of war. Most people pull harder when someone pulls against them. But imagine what happens if, instead of pulling back, you simply let go of the rope. Suddenly the game ends. The tension disappears. And you are free to move forward while the other person is left holding nothing. This is the power of reclaiming your energy. You stop participating in battles that never mattered in the first place. You stop defending yourself against opinions that hold no value. You stop explaining yourself to people who are never trying to understand you. And as you withdraw your attention from these things, you begin to notice how much energy you regain. Energy that can now be used for something meaningful. Your growth, your purpose, your peace. But the art of ignoring is not only about other people, it is also about your own mind. Because sometimes the loudest distractions in your life are not external. They come from within. Think about how often your mind pulls you into unnecessary suffering. Self-doubt, worry, fear. The constant voice in your head that tells you you're not good enough, or that you might fail. Many people spend their entire lives reacting to these thoughts as if they were facts. But the Stoics understood something powerful. Not every thought deserves your attention. Just because a thought appears in your mind does not mean it deserves to stay there. Imagine watching clouds pass through the sky. You see them, but you do not chase them. You do not try to control them. You simply observe them and let them pass. Your thoughts can be treated the same way. A negative thought appears. Instead of feeding it, instead of analyzing it, instead of allowing it to spiral into anxiety, you simply let it pass. This is a form of mental discipline. And like any discipline, it becomes stronger with practice. Over time, you begin to notice that the noise in your mind becomes quieter. Your focus becomes sharper. Your emotional stability becomes stronger. Instead of being controlled by your thoughts, you become the observer of them. And that shift changes everything, because once you learn to control your inner world, the outer world loses much of its power over you. There's another truth about attention that many people overlook. People respect what is scarce. When something is always available, always accessible, always within reach, it slowly loses its perceived value. Think about it. Rare things are respected. Limited things are protected. Exclusive things are desired. But when something is constantly given away, it begins to feel ordinary. The same principle applies to your attention. If you are always responding, always explaining, always giving your time and energy to everyone around you, people begin to assume they are entitled to it. Not necessarily out of disrespect, but simply because it has become normal. But the moment you become selective with your attention, everything changes. When you protect your time, when you choose carefully where your energy goes, when you stop responding to every demand placed on you, people begin to notice. Your presence becomes more meaningful. Your words carry more weight. Your attention becomes something valuable again. This does not mean you become distant or cold. It simply means you become intentional. You begin to recognize that your time is one of the most valuable resources you possess, and not everyone deserves access to it. Just like a rare jewel is not placed in every passerby's hands, your attention should be guarded carefully. You give it to those who respect it. You invest it in what builds your life, and you protect it from anything that tries to waste it. That is not arrogance. That is self-respect. When you begin practicing this philosophy consistently, something remarkable starts to happen. The world begins to feel quieter, not because the noise disappears, but because it no longer controls you. Arguments lose their grip on you. Drama stops attracting you. Provocations begin to feel insignificant. You start to move through life with a calm, grounded presence. Where once you reacted instantly, you now pause. Where once you felt pulled into every conflict, you now step back. Where once the opinions of others controlled your emotions, you now observe them without attachment. This is what it means to become unshakable, not immune to life, not disconnected from the world, but rooted deeply enough within yourself that external chaos can no longer move you easily. You become like a solid anchor in the middle of a storm. The waves may crash around you, the wind may howl, but you remain steady. And this steadiness gives you something most people never develop: clarity. When you are not overwhelmed by emotional reactions, you can see situations for what they truly are. You make better decisions. You conserve your energy. You move with purpose instead of impulse. And slowly, people begin to sense this difference. They feel the calmness in your presence. They recognize the discipline in your silence. And often, without even trying, you earn something many people spend their lives chasing: respect. Because real strength is not loud, it is controlled, it is patient, it is intentional. Mastering the art of ignoring is not about disconnecting from life. It is about protecting your inner world. It is about choosing carefully where your attention goes, because your attention is your power, and when you stop giving that power away to distractions, negativity, and unnecessary conflict, you begin to reclaim control over your life, over your mind, over your future. As Marcus Aurelius once wrote, "The happiness of your life depends upon the quality of your thoughts." So be careful about what you allow to occupy your mind. Guard your attention, protect your peace, and focus your energy on becoming stronger every single day. If this message resonated with you, consider subscribing to the channel. Here we explore the timeless wisdom of Stoicism, psychology, and mental discipline to help you build a stronger mind and a more purposeful life. And if you want to continue this journey of self-mastery, watch the next video on your screen. Until then, stay disciplined, stay focused, and keep walking the path of wisdom.